So in this video I want to talk about the EverSolo DMP-A6. I reached out to EverSolo and expressed that I was interested in checking out their products, and they offered to send me the DMP-A6, and I am so happy that they did because this is the coolest audio product that I've reviewed in quite a long time. So basically, just to sum up what this product is, this is a DAC / streamer, you could say. So with this device you can stream audio from your local network from using the Ethernet or Wi-Fi that's built into the product. You can stream it onto this device and it'll play back. You could have lossless FLAC files. You could have higher bit or higher quality audio. You could have DSD files, and you can play them through your network. You can also use the embedded SSD to store your music locally, which is, I did not do that personally in this review, but it's there, and I may explore that one day. You can also use the built-in streaming. I believe it has Tidal natively, and it has Amazon Music natively as well. Personally, I subscribe to Apple Music. That is available as an app, which is not natively installed on the device, so it works a little differently. In order to get the lossless audio out of your Apple Music subscription, you need to go on the actual touchscreen on the device itself and look for whatever you want to play, and then play it from there. Or you can cast using the EverSolo app and see exactly what's being displayed on the DMP on the A6, and you can control it that way. That's the way to get lossless audio from Apple Music. In all honesty, the easiest way to use your Apple Music, which would be sacrilegious for a lot of audiophile purists out there, is just to use AirPlay. I personally used a combination of the native app, the Apple Music app, which I could cast using the EverSolo app. But I did a lot of AirPlay as well, which sounded great, because when you're using the DACs built into the A6 itself, just makes the AirPlay sound as good as it possibly can. And I had absolutely no complaints. And for most people, if you just want to get a good the easiest and most seamless experience that you're going to get through Apple Music is just using AirPlay. I'm going to just drop a bunch of features on you. I'm not going to mention every single feature that this thing has. I'll just kind of put them on screen here real quick. I'll scroll them down. It has high quality DACs. They're ES903 8Q2M DACs. This has an HDMI output. It can play back audio as high as 768 kilohertz at 32 bits, which is pretty darn good. Basically, with DSD and that, and 32-bit audio, you got your bases covered. It has an incredibly low, imperceptible noise floor, and it also supports MQA and, of course, Bluetooth and AirPlay. This is Roon ready, so you can use it as a Roon node, which is great if you already have a Roon setup, or if you're looking to get into Roon, which I hear good things. I'm probably going to look into doing that pretty soon. The A6 also features a parametric equalizer for those of you that want to take your audio setup to the next level. I wouldn't recommend this for anybody to just willy-nilly go and adjust the equalizer without some kind of microphone, so that you can take measurements of what areas you actually need to equalize to try to get a flat response. That would be the end goal of using the parametric equalizer, and again, without some kind of calibrated microphone, I would not recommend doing that. EverSolo was nice enough to send me this DMP-A6 for me to check out and give you my opinion on, and well, let's get it out of the box and check it out. We got it here. Nice. The EverSolo DMP-A6. So this is a DAC streamer. To be honest, this is the first DAC that I've ever tried, or first streamer that I've ever had. I mean, the only thing I've usually used is an Apple TV to stream music, and my Nvidia Shield as well. But this is a whole new level of product for me, and I'm going to be installing this in my music room, and I'll kind of give you a little tour of that in a second. My music room, meaning that this is my 2-channel listening room. It's where I have my Macintosh equipment, along with a nice Atmos home theater. But let me get this guy out of the box here. Here we go. Cut the plastic off. Got a nice quick start guide. For those of you who don't know, EverSolo is made or owned by Zydu, and as you know, I absolutely love my Zydu. I love my Zydu equipment, and as you can see, here we have a bit of a diagram of the back of the unit, and it kind of have a sort of a quick start guide, and it gives you instructions on installing an SSD on the bottom of the unit if you want. But yeah, I'm really excited to check this thing out. Okay, so let's see what's in here first. This little box looks like it's probably power, an AC adapter or something like that. It looks like a little screwdriver. My guess it's for opening the port to install the SSD. That's my guess. This is a USB cable, USB-A to, I don't know what this one is called, but this is a USB data cable. And this is a power cable, 3-prong looks like. So it's grounded. And that's it. So looks like the power supply is built into the unit. That's cool. So that means you don't have a brick. There's no like brick behind this thing or on the floor. Like, let's pull this out. It's actually quite heavy. It's got to be like at least 5 or 6 pounds. Feels very stout. Very good build quality. Just from picking it up, it's wrapped up so nicely. Look at that. The antennas here. Everything's covered up. All the little RCA ports here covered. That's really cool. So let's loosen this up and get this out of the bag and get a better look at it. Very carefully. I know this is gonna go in a prime location in my room. And here she is. So one of the coolest things about this unit is the screen. I think it has about at least a 6-inch screen on the in front of it, so it shows you like album art, whatever you're playing. And this does have like Apple Music support, which is a plus. That's actually the service I use the most. I used to subscribe to Amazon, but this is quite nice. So let's get a look at the back of this thing. It looks like we have some antennas, probably for Bluetooth or AirPlay or just, Wi-Fi connection. You have your Ethernet port. This is the port for your power cable. Again, Ethernet. There is an HDMI port. It says it's audio out only. You got 2 USB 3.0 ports. My guess is to plug in some exterior storage or some, other devices. Here you have, looks like you have some digital inputs as well. You have digital optical in, digital coaxial in, and a USB-C. Looks like you have a digital optical out and a coaxial out, which is kind of nice. My guess is that you can actually use this thing as like a mini, like sort of as a preamp, which is kind of cool. Let me turn these, see, I turned these up right here. And this is what I'm mostly interested in. I'm going to take the RCA outs over here and plug them into my Macintosh, my preamp over there. And I'm probably going to use the HDMI port and plug it into my receiver over there, because I have both in this room. And again, I'll show you a little later. You also have balanced outputs. So you have unbalanced and balanced outputs. So, there's a lot of connectivity in this thing. And I'm actually thinking about putting it right there. We see where that Xbox controller is in this room. And I think that's where it's going to go. I think it's going to look pretty good right there. It's going to be like in a prime location in this room. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and get this thing set up. Okay, so I just turned on the EverSolo. This is the first thing that came up. It just tells you to select language. I'm going to hit next. And I'm going to hit United States time zone. And I'm going to go to New York because I'm on the East Coast. And I already connected an Ethernet cable, as you can see there. I got all my connections in. And so it's already connected to the internet, but if not, you would probably set up your Wi-Fi here if you go there, but I'm gonna use Ethernet because honestly, if you can do Ethernet, I would recommend it. So hit next. And then it's gonna ask you to download the app, which I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and download the EverSolo app. I'm gonna open it up. And it's gonna ask you to select what product you have. I have the DMP-A6, so I'm gonna hit next. And you're gonna allow it to find devices on your network, to hit allow. And it found it on my IP, and then hit add. So I added it successfully, so I'm gonna go into it. And now I can, now this looks like the main menu, but I'm gonna go back to the device itself. I downloaded the app, I installed it on my phone, I found the device on my network, so I'm gonna hit next. And welcome, start to use. Really easy to set up. I'm gonna see what you can do on here, but then I'm gonna go check out the app. So I'm assuming you can do everything that you can do on here, you can probably do on the app, which makes it a lot easier to, you know, use when you're sitting on the couch or something. So I'm gonna hit streaming. It already has pre-installed Amazon Music, Tidal, I don't know what QBuzz is, high-res audio, Deezer, internet radio, SoundCloud, but it looks like you can download these other ones like Apple Music. I'm gonna hit download. I'm gonna get that one immediately because that's the one I use the most. You can get Spotify. I'm not gonna get that yet because I'm not subscribed to Spotify. I know, shocker. And there's Amazon Music. I guess that's more an updated version of it. And here you have user PNP for Music Cloud. If you have stuff on your network, you can find it here. You can even use Dropbox and OneDrive and Plex. You can even do Plex here, which is nice. I have some music on Plex, which is cool. Jellyfin as well, another popular like streaming platform, just like Plex. And this is a Roon node, which is cool. This might be a good excuse to set up Roon in my network, which would be kind of cool. So I already got Apple Music here working, but I'm gonna just try to see if there's an online update for this, and it's already up to date, which is great. So I've been going through everything, and it looks like you can do pretty much everything that you can do on here on the app, which is nice. Because I don't necessarily want to be sitting on the floor to do this, even though I really do like the display is beautiful. You know, does feel like a real quality device. It's just like it's metal, and it's got nice venting on the sides here, which means it has good ventilation. It definitely feels like a premium product, really. I mean, I can understand why everybody's raving about these things. It's really, really something. I really, really like it so far. I can't wait to see what exactly I can do with this thing. But, all right. Well, I'm gonna give this thing a whirl and see what it sounds like. So I want to talk about the app real quick and just say that basically everything that you can do on the device's touchscreen itself, you can do on the app, but only better. Especially if you're using like an iPad. This is my old iPad Pro. What I do like about EverSolo is their app is actually engineered to work with the iPad Pro. It is not just like a zoomed in like iPhone app, which I think is great. I think it's great that they embraced the iPad and used up the screen space. So this is a native iPad app, which I think is a plus. So if you want to change the input, let's say in my case, I'm using the RCA outputs to go out to my Macintosh, I can switch that to the XLRs that are going to my headphone amplifier. And you can do that all from the app. For example, I'm on my phone, I'm using AirPlay, I'm listening to some music, but then I want to put it on a CD. So you just go into the app and switch it from internal player to optical, which is where the CD player is connected to on the EverSolo. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, the setup was a breeze. Basically, you do everything on the touchscreen on a device, and then you get a QR code to scan it on your phone, and then you can download the app and then pair the device with the app, and it's super easy. So no complaints as far as the setup process. It's basically elevated my 2-channel setup to the next level. It's something that I personally didn't think would actually do much of anything to, I'm going to be honest, I didn't think it would really improve the sound quality of my system, given that I had, some pretty good equipment in there. But it actually did help a lot. I'm basically that kind of guy, I don't know if I would call myself an audiophile, or, some people would call me an audiophile because I do have some pretty good equipment. But I never bought into the whole like DAC thing. Is it absolutely necessary to have a DAC? A separate DAC from pretty much every other product, every audio product pretty much has DACs built into them. You know, like your Bluetooth headphone set, let's say, they have DACs built into them. Your CD player will have a DAC. But I wasn't ever in the camp where I thought that you actually needed a separate DAC, a higher quality DAC. I never, you know, I sort of almost considered it to be in the snake oil camp of things, but turns out I was wrong. After reviewing the EverSolo DMP-A6, I am converted. I am a believer now. I'm at the point now where I would say that this is sort of an essential product. The 6-inch screen on the front of this thing it's super sharp. It really adds a lot of value, I feel, to the whole fit and finish of the product, which itself is very, very nicely constructed. It feels like a high-end product. Yes, this is an over $800 product, but I feel like you're getting your money's worth with this product, given the ease of use and the fit and finish of this product is next level. I just want to talk about the things that I did. The things that I appreciated from the EverSolo, from the A6. Considering the way that I use the device, I basically played CDs using an optical audio cable straight to the DMP-A6, and then I ran the RCA cables out to my Macintosh setup. Doing that, I did some A/B testing. I could absolutely tell a difference. Again, this is something that I wasn't expecting. My impression was that the DACs built into my CD player were really good, but they're not quite as good as the A6's DACs. Everything just felt clear, and I'm not exaggerating in any way. I really did hear a significant difference in the quality. It would be very hard to go back to not using this device to listen to my CD collection, which is quite extensive. I have like over 400 CDs at this point. Using my CD player was great. You know, obviously you can go to the next level and use like a high-end, optical disc player, which, you know, you can play your super audio CDs through it. You can play your DVD audio through it. Leverage the HDMI output, which I did try on my Onkyo receiver. But obviously when you're using the HDMI output, you're sending like a digital audio signal. You're sort of not even taking advantage of the built-in DACs of the other EverSolo, so you're sort of depending on whatever device you're sending that digital signal to do the audio conversion using its built-in DACs. Like my Onkyo receiver that I have in that particular room isn't probably the best quality. So the DACs built into the EverSolo are just going to be far superior than the DACs built into this sort of like budget Onkyo receiver that I have in there. But taking everything that I have through the EverSolo and sending it all to my Macintosh setup sounded incredible. It's literally the best that system's ever sounded. I just want to mention a couple of areas where EverSolo can improve. Number one, I wish they would have a built-in headphone amp. It would absolutely take away the need for me to have my headphone amplifier. Another thing that needs to be improved, but if they can embed Apple Music and maybe Spotify native apps, that would be great. To just have them built in so you don't have to use this casting feature. Again, the workaround is just using the casting and just find the song quickly and just play it. Like I said earlier in the video, AirPlay works great. The EverSolo makes the AirPlay sound as good as it possibly can. Just to wrap up the video, I just want to thank EverSolo again for sending me the A6. I think it's a fantastic product, which has elevated my 2-channel system to the next level. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, I was never one of these guys that thought that you needed a DAC to get the best audio quality. I thought having good speakers, having good quality components was all you really need to do. The EverSolo did allow a lot of my music to shine and to sound better than it ever has before. As far as the aesthetics of the unit, the construction, the quality construction, the easy to use interface, the easy setup. The display is just beautiful and super sharp. The VU meters are a nice touch. I think it's a home run. I want to thank EverSolo for sending the product in. I think it's a fantastic product and I can't recommend it enough. If you have any questions about the EverSolo DMP-A6, feel free to leave them in the comments. Really helps a lot if you can like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.